Hi dear students, I welcome you in my channel Mathematics Helper. I hope you subscribe the channel. If you are left, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon for latest notifications. Let's start next work from question number 19 onwards. Chapter number 5, miscellaneous exercise of class 12th. See what is given here. Using mathematical induction, prove that d over dx of x raised to power n equal to n x raised to power n minus 1 for all positive integers n. You are familiar with this name, mathematical induction. You did this in class 11, but we have to use that here and now in plus 1, plus 2 class. So see how we can prove it. First of all, when you write for mathematical induction, you write your given statement as p in n because its power is in n. So we will give it name p. P means an expression which is in n, small n, and such that two dots means like that d upon dx x raised to power n equal to n x raised to power n minus 1. So this is our given statement. And what are the steps of induction? Firstly, we prove our statement is true for n equal to 1. Then we assume our statement is true for n equal to k. And lastly, we go for its next value, means we prove our statement is also true for k plus 1. And if they all are true, we generalize our statement is true for all natural numbers. And if we are able to mark these things, we will be able to write this statement is true for all positive integers n. So we will write for this. So see how? Now for n equal to 1. So we are going to write first for n equal to 1. So we will write here p at 1 means our statement for 1. First of all, this value d upon dx x raised to power 1, which is derivative with respect to x of x, will give 1. Similarly, for this, if I write for this will be in place of n I am writing 1, x raised to power 1 minus 1 or 1 into x raised to power 0, which is x raised to power 0 or which is 1. So we started from this side up to left side, okay, answer is here, and from right side also you got the same, you can say, which is true. That means, therefore, this one, P1 is true. Therefore, given or okay, this given statement is true for n equal to 1. Now we will write for assumption case number 2, or we can say for n equal to k. Let us assume that given statement is also true for n equal to k, and k is a number only in between 1 and n. So p at k means we are replacing n by k here. It will be throughout replace n by k d over dx x raised to power k equal to k into x raised to power k minus 1. So give it number 1. This was our assumption. We assumed here, okay. Now we have to write this statement is true for k plus 1. So for k plus 1, try to remember, when you write for k plus 1, you always write for n equal to k plus 1. You start calculation only from the statement k plus 1. So we write therefore p at k plus 1 such that d over dx of this value x raised to power k plus 1, and you have to convert this statement into right side, means you have to show you have k plus 1 in place of n in the right side of this. So from this you have to develop the whole right side of the given statement. So see how we are able to do that. So I am going to solve it further. D upon dx, this k plus 1 power of x can be written as x raised to power k into x raised to power 1. We marked it as product of two values, and we will use product rule. What is product rule of derivative? First as it is, second derivative of second, then second as it is, derivative of first. So we are going to use that. First as it is means x raised to power k. Derivative of x raised to power 1 means x. Then plus second x raised to power 1 means x as it is derivative of x raised to power k. But see, you were having an assumption or in equation number 1 this value derivative of x raised to power k. It was, I am writing its value. It was k into x raised to power k minus 1. So we are using here equation 1 and this first part will remain the same, x raised to power k. What about dx over dx? It will be 1. So we used 1 here. Now see, you have x raised to power k, then x raised to power k minus 1. So we have all these, I am writing again. So here you have k x raised to power k minus 1 and x raised to power 1. It will be x raised to power k only. And from these two you have x raised to power k common. Inside you have 1 plus k. Which can be written as, see, we can mark it as k plus 1 in the starting. X raised to power k can be written as add 1 and subtract 1 from here. See, you have k plus 1 in place of n. K plus 1 here and here also you have k plus 1. So which is true. Therefore P means statement for k plus 1. P at k plus 1 is true. So we will write hence by principle of mathematical induction. Hence by principle of mathematical induction, given statement is true for all n belong to natural numbers, but they want all positive integers. Positive integers are what? Actually natural numbers. So that is for all positive integers. So this was our question number 19. I hope everything is clear to you. Try to remember these things in easy way, okay? Explained here, and try to write them once again by yourself. See next what is given in question number 20. Students, our question number 20 is using the fact that sine a plus b equal to sine a cos b plus cos a sine b, and the differentiation obtain some formula for cosines. So we have to find formula for cos here, cos a plus b. By using this information only means its formula for sine a plus b. Moreover, derivative also. We have to use differentiation. So see how we are able to get answer of this part. So given, what is given? I am writing from this sine a plus b. It is sine a cos b plus cos a sine b. Students, here you have to remember one thing. Fix one angle out of a or b as constant and write the derivative. You will get your required answer. See how? I am going to write this a as constant by taking a as constant. Remember this step, okay? And differentiating with respect to x. We are going to differentiate with respect to x. See how? It will be, when you write derivative of the left side, it will be sine's derivative cos a plus b. Then derivative of a will be 0, means derivative of angle we have to write. Derivative of b, it is not a constant value, so it will be db over dx. Next in the right side, because angle a is constant, so this sine a constant, so it will remain the same. But what about derivative of cos b? Cos derivative is minus sine, so minus sine b along with db over dx. Similarly here, because angle a is constant, so cos a constant, derivative of sine b, cos b along with the derivative of angle which is db over dx. Here you have cos a plus b. See, you have now cos a plus b, you need cos a plus b here. along with dv over dx. From this side, we will take dv over dx common. So I am writing dv over dx common. And here, sin A minus sin B with multiplication will give minus sin A sin B. Similarly, here you have plus cos A cos B. dv over dx cancelled and cos A plus B equal to, what is cos A plus B? Cos A cos B minus sin A sin B. It is a required answer of question number 20. Try to remember, and you can derive other formulas also by using the same method. Students, our next question number 21 is, does there exist a function which is continuous everywhere? You have to find a function which is continuous everywhere but not differentiable at exactly 2 points. So function which is continuous and differentiable on all points except 2 points, okay? And justify your answer means you have to consider some function here which will fulfill these conditions given. So you have to remember statement of the function here which is satisfying these conditions. So let us consider a function. Consider a function fx with modulus x minus 1 plus modulus of x minus 2. So this is having modulus which is, we can say, now fx is continuous at all x belong to real numbers and differentiable at all points, you can say at all points x except 2 points. What are these points? Number same marked, okay, 1 and 2. 1 and 2. We will prove it is not differentiable at these points, and continuity also we have to prove. See how? So what is fx? Fx is this one. Let's break it in different statements. Here you have two numbers 1 and 2. Let's break it in 1 and 2. Very first, if your number x is less than 1. If it is less than 1, see, it will be negative if you write any number less than 1. And here also less than 1 number will give negative. And this modulus will have negative signs. So you have this as minus x minus 1. When you leave modulus, okay, before it also minus x minus 2. Similarly, if your value lies between 1 and 2, means if your number x is 1 or 2 or in between these two, then what will be? You will have, if it is 1, either it will be 0, or if it is greater than 1, it will give a positive value. But if that same value means between 1 and 2 you use here, it will be negative. So your statement will be x minus 1 minus of x minus 2. Because if you use a number less than 1 here, okay, that is not possible. If you use a number greater than 1, just greater than 1 but less than 2, then it will be positive, but a number which is less than 2 will give negative sign for the modulus. So this is our second statement. Now third, if your number is greater than 2, then for greater than 2 number it will give a positive answer. So only x minus 1 will be there. It will also be positive, so plus x minus 2 as it is. So we have this part. Just write this again by solving it. It will be minus x plus 1 minus x plus 2. And here it will be for x less than 1, x minus 1 minus x plus 2, for 1 less than equal to x less than equal to 2, and here last x minus 1 plus x minus 2 for x greater than 2. So we have to write this in proper way now. So I'm going to erase it. Solve it, write fx. What is fx? Now it is minus x minus 2x, then plus 2 plus 1, 3 is 3 for x less than 1. What about this? X cancelled. You have 2 minus 1, only 1 for 1 less than equal to x less than equal to 2. And lastly, x plus x, 2x minus 3 for x greater than 2. See, they all the statements for fx, they all are polynomials. So therefore we can say fx is continuous for all x belong to real numbers. Now we have to write its differentiability. So first of all, write f dash x means derivative of all the statements. Derivative of minus 2x plus 3 is minus 2, and derivative of x is 1, plus 3 means derivative is 0, so you are left with minus 2 for x less than 1. Derivative of 1 is 0 for this statement given, and it will be 2 for x greater than 2. Now we will prove it is not differentiable at 2 points as I marked at 1 and 2. It is not differentiable. So see what is next. Okay, I will erase it and we will start our calculation of proving that it is not differentiable at x equal to 1 and x equal to 2. Next we have to check differentiability at 1 and 2. So we marked here, okay, this derivative which we have result in previous calculations and statement of fx at 3 different parts of our given, okay, definition. So we have everything here. Now I am going to write for 1. So I am writing at x equal to 1, left hand derivative at this x equal to 1. It will be limit h approaches to 0. This is the definition. From the left side means minus sign on it. f1 plus h minus f1 over h. Try to remember what was definition of first principle of derivative given in last class also. That was x plus h here, x and over h. H approaches to 0 for simple derivative. But now we are going to write left and right derivative. So that's why negative sign represents left derivative and positive sign represents right derivative. The left side will be with the negative sign, right will be with the positive sign. In the left side of 1, a negative symbol, in the right side, positive symbol. But we are dependent on definition of fx, this one. So we have to write their values. See, limit h approaches to 0 from the left side, f1 plus h. What is the statement for left side of 1? Means the value is less than 1, first one. So it will be minus 2. X means this is x now, 1 plus h. Then plus 3 is there, minus f at 1. F at 1 means, yes, for the left side of this, it will be minus 2 into 1 plus 3 here. So this is the calculation over h as it is. So limit h approaches to 0 from the left, minus 2 into 1 minus 2, minus 2 into h minus 2h plus 3. Then here it will be minus 2 into minus sign plus 2 minus 3. So minus 2 plus 2 cancelled, 3 cancelled with 3 upon h is there. So you have limit h approaches to 0 from the left, minus 2h over h, h cancelled, and we are left with the minus 2 and there is no effect of limit, so our answer is minus 2. See now what is in right hand derivative of this. So I will write calculation next for right hand derivative of this. So I'm going to erase it and changing it here. It is right derivative and it will be positive here. Now we have to check what is in the right of 1. So this its answer is left derivative at 1 is minus 2. So we are going to change it now. See what answer will come for right of 1. So for the right side of 1 means in the right side of 1 our value is greater than 1. We have this statement given for fx. Only 1 is the answer. So it will be limit h approaches to 0 from the right. f1 plus h means its answer is 1. And minus f at 1. At 1 also we have same statement minus 1 over h, or it will be limit h approaches to 0 from the right, means for the 1 actually its derivative given 0 over h or 0. So therefore left hand derivative at 1 is not same as right hand derivative at 1. Therefore this fx is not differentiable at x equal to 1. Same we will do for x equal to 2, and we will prove left derivative and right derivative they are not equal. See, next I will erase it and we will write that calculation after this. Now we will start calculation for 2. So at x equal to 2, write the left derivative at 2. It will be having the same statement, limit h approaches to 0 from the left side, f 2 plus h, because number is 2 here, minus f at 2 over h. Now you are for this, you are having calculation for 2 in the left of 2 and in the right of 2. For that we will take help from these two parts. For numbers less than 2 we have one answer, for greater than 2 we have 2x minus 3. So for the left side of 2 it will be f2 plus h. Its answer will be, for the left side of 2, only 1. So limit h approaches to 0 from the left, its answer is 1. Similarly, when you put 2, you are standing in the left of 2, means for numbers less than 2, its answer will also be 1 over h, or limit h approaches to 0 from the left, 0 over h, or answer is 0. Now right hand derivative at 2. So it will be limit h approaches to 0 from right, f2 plus h minus f at 2 over h, or limit h approaches to 0 positive f2 plus h. You are standing in the right of 2. For right of 2 means for numbers greater than 2 we have 2x minus 3 statement. So it will be 2 times x, x means this value, 2 plus h minus 3, then minus f at 2. At 2 means we have to replace x by 2 here. So 2 into 2 minus 3 in the bracket. Be careful, use bracket because of this minus sign over h. It will be limit h approaches to 0 positive, 2 into 2 4 plus 2h minus 3. It will be minus 4 plus 3. 3 cancelled, 4 cancelled over h, or limit h approaches to 0 from the right, 2h over h, h cancelled, answer is 2. See here, answers are again not same. So I am going to write here, therefore left hand derivative at 2 is not equal to right hand derivative at 2. Therefore fx is not differentiable at x equal to 2. So what is the result? Fx is continuous everywhere, but differentiable for all x except 2, 1 and 2. So hence fx is continuous for all x belong to real numbers, means everywhere, that is everywhere, okay? And, or you can say what? Not differentiable at exactly 2 points, 1 and 2, okay? But it is differentiable everywhere except 2 points, okay? 1 and 2. This was our question number 21, a lengthy procedure, but it needs some attention and knowledge of that statement. So remember statement and you will be able to prove it. See what is given next in question number 22. Students, question number 22 is, if y equal to, in the form of determinant it is given, in first row fx, gx, hx, and in second row lmn, and last row is abc. Prove that derivative with respect to x of this is equal to, simply only derivatives are given for fx, gx and hx, f dash x, g dash x and h dash x, and they are without any effect of determinant, means LMN, ABC, they are exactly the same. See how we are able to prove it. So I'm going to start from the given. So given our y is equal to, students remember the way of writing it, it is very simple. See how we are able to write this calculation ABC. Just expand it. Expanding by row number 1. Use this row number 1 to expand it. As you know, when we expand from here, okay, we take care of position first. If I am going to expand with respect to first row, first of all fx will be there. Then what will be here? It will have combination of these four values mn, bc. Then there is a position. It is 1 1. Then 1 2 means a negative sign will be there gx. Along with, if you are writing for gx, this column and this row you have to hide. So LA and NC. And in the end, plus sign for this 1 3 position. 1 3 means 4. So for 4 even power of minus 1 will be positive sign. I don't want to go in detail because you have done this step already in the matrices and determinants. So we have to right now last hx and along with these four values LMAB. LMAB. I hope you are able to expand determinants. So see what answer will be there. Fx, it will be MC minus their product minus Bn, and after that you have minus GC, their answer LC minus An, lastly Hx, LB minus Am. This is only answer of y. Now write derivative, differentiating with respect to x. It will be dy over dx. Students, here they all are constants. There is no effect of derivative on them. So derivative will be of only function in x. So it will be f dash x along with this same value mc minus bn minus same g dash x lc minus an plus h dash x LB minus AM. So if they are with only derivatives of fx, dx and hx, we will rewrite it in the form of determinant. From where you got this type of calculation? By expanding this now. At these positions you were having fx, dx, hx. Now you have derivatives. So we will write f dash x, g dash x and h dash x. And LM and ABC were there. We're having these positions, so we will write them as same LMN ABC, hence proved. So we proved it. We have a required answer in this form. So this was question number 22. See next what is given in last question of this exercise, question number 23. So here is our last question, question number 23. If y equal to e raised to power a cos inverse x, and condition is x lies between minus 1 and 1, it may be minus 1 or 1, show that 1 minus x square d square y over dx square minus x into dy over dx minus a square y equal to 0. So there is a need of double derivatives, single derivatives. See how we are able to get answer of this. So given is y equal to e raised to power a cos inverse x. Now once write derivative with respect to x. So differentiating with respect to x, it will be dy upon dx. What about derivative of e raised to power anything? Same, e raised to power whatever is there, same, but don't forget to write derivative of that power which is given along with e. So derivative of a cos inverse x. Now your calculation is about this derivative e raised to power a cos inverse x. Derivative of this a constant as it is. Derivative of cos inverse x is minus 1 over 1 minus x square, and derivative of this angle is only, means derivative of x is 1. So we have dy over dx like this. It is equal to e raised to power a cos inverse x. Now minus a from here will be in the starting. It is minus a e raised to power a cos inverse x over 1 minus x square. So shift this 1 minus x square in the left side. See you have 1 minus x square in the left side. So I'm going to shift this. Cross multiply, it will be 1 minus x square dy over dx equal to minus a e raised to power a cos inverse x. But there is a need of double derivative. So we will write again differentiating with respect to x. So one more time we are going to write derivative with respect to x. So it will be, see what will come here. It will be first as it is. There is a product of two functions. First one, second one. First as it is. Derivative of second means double derivative of y with respect to x. So d square y over dx square, then plus sign second as it is dy over dx. Derivative of first one. What about derivative of square root 1 minus x square? We will write in next step. What about this right side of this? Derivative of minus a e raised to power a cos inverse x. So we have this calculation. We used product rule. You can mention here product rule we used. Otherwise it is understood, okay? So we have square root of 1 minus x square d square y over dx square. What about derivative of square root of 1 minus x square? It will be, yes, I am writing dy over dx here, okay? Derivative of this 1 over 2 into 1 minus x square into 0 minus 2x. If it is not clear, try to think about derivative of square root of x. X square root means x raised to power 1 over 2. When we write derivative, half will come in front. Power of x will decrease by 1 means 1 over 2 minus 1 or minus 1 over 2. So it will be 1 over 2 x raised to power minus 1 over 2, or it will go in the denominator. So this is, I think, clear to you how we write derivative. So I mark derivative of this. Then minus a outside. Derivative of e raised to power this. E raised to power cos inverse. Sorry, I marked by mistake a here. It is minus a e raised to power. A is there, sorry. A is there. A cos inverse x. So minus a outside. What is derivative of this? It will remain the same. E raised to power a cos inverse x. But what about derivative? One more time we have this calculation. It will be a derivative of power. A as it is, then derivative of cos inverse x is minus 1 over x square, 1 minus x square under root, and for this angle derivative is 1. So we did this earlier one more time, okay? We are writing this same. So we have 1 minus x square d square y over dx square plus minus minus. So I am writing minus 2x over this 2 1 minus x square along with this dy over dx I am writing in the end. So 2 cancelled. Now see the right side, minus minus plus a into a square into e raised to power a cos inverse x over 1 minus x square under root. See what is this? This is this value. This is y only, and this I am going to shift to the left side, so it will get multiplied with the whole left side of this. Left side is this e square y over dx square minus x over 1 minus x square dy over dx. I am multiplying this denominator with whole left side, and in the right side you have a square, and what about this? It is y. So when you multiply it in inside, okay, multiply with all, they will give only 1 minus x square when you multiply same value 2 times with under root, and d square y over dx square minus this will get cancelled. You will have minus x dy over dx, and that value I am going to shift in the left side. It will be minus a square y equal to 0. Hence proved. This was our requirement and we did that. So we have our answer of question number 23. I hope this whole exercise is very clear to you. So stay connected and subscribe the channel. Press the bell icon for latest notifications. Thanks for watching.